Thank you. Good morning, officer.
Good morning.
Can you hear me okay?
I can.
All right. Can you please state your name and spell it for the court record?
Kenner Fortner, Kenner, Fortner.
All right. And how are you employed?
I'm currently employed as a sergeant with the Fairfax County Police Department.
How long have you been with Fairfax County?
I've been with Fairfax County for 10 years.
Were you assigned to a particular unit in 2023?
I was a crime scene detective in 2023.
All right. And were you in that role on February 24th, 2023?
I was.
Okay. On that date, did you respond to an incident on Stablebrook Way?
I did.
Why were you called out?
I was called out to assist with the scene documentation of a reported homicide.
And what was your role in that investigation?
I took scene photographs.
Okay. And let me hear from you. What did you observe upon your arrival?
When I arrived on scene, the scene had already been secured by patrol officers. Christine Banfield had been transported to the hospital, and the only person remaining within the scene was Joseph Ryan, who had been declared deceased.
So let me start you with some photographs. Judge, if I can offer into evidence Commonwealths 80 through 89 and have those published to the witness,
All right.
the jury, and the gallery.
Through 89 in evidence and can be published to the jury and gallery. No objection. Carried.
All right, thank you. So starting with this first picture, Commonwealths 80, starting outside of the home on Stablebrook Way, how many cars did you observe?
There were 4 cars of interest.
Okay, and this picture here, what do we see?
This is a black Hyundai Tucson.
Were you able to later determine who it was primarily driven by?
It was a government-owned vehicle registered to the IRS, driven by Brendan Banfield.
All right, thank you. And in this photograph, we see 2 more vehicles. Can you tell me about them?
Yes, so in the driveway, the vehicle parked in the left spot of the driveway is a navy blue Volkswagen ID that was registered to Christine Banfield. The silver Jeep Cherokee on the right parking space is registered to a Constance Ryan.
All right. And this particular vehicle, this photograph was taken in your shop, is that correct?
This was taken in the crime scene vehicle bay. It was originally parked in the cul-de-sac.
Okay, and do we know who this car was registered to or driven by?
This vehicle was registered to a Brendan Banfield.
Okay.
Is that 82? Just for the record, when you show.
Yes, ma'am, I apologize.
That's fine.
So this was 82,
Okay, thank you.
the white Ford Fusion. All right, moving into the basement of the home, is it entirely below ground or does it have an above ground exit?
The basement exit is a walkout style, which is level to the ground.
Okay, and can you describe the layout of the basement?
Yes, so if you are standing at the basement stairs, directly to your left at this doorway here leads to an unfinished storage area. If you can continue forward a few feet, you'd be standing in the living room area of the basement, which also included a desk and computer. To the right of the living room area is a bedroom, and then to the left of the living room area was a home gym workout area. And then if you orient yourself to where you're now looking at the workout area with the living room behind you, along the left wall was a bathroom, and then finally another door which led to the same storage unfinished area.
So in your walk through the basement, did you notice anything out of the ordinary?
No.
Okay. Looking at this photograph here, Commonwealth's 83, can you tell me, was there a gate at the bottom of the basement stairs?
There was.
Okay, from the photograph, it appears to be about hip height, is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay, well, my hips anyway, perhaps someone taller it's lower, but did it look like it was intended to serve a purpose?
At the time that I found it is as it was in this photo.
All right. Did you notice a lock on the door at the top of the basement stairs?
Yes.
Okay, so looking at Commonwealth's 84 here, is that a photograph of the lock that you observed?
That is a photograph of the lock that I observed.
Okay, was it engaged when you saw it?
No, it's as it was.
Okay. Moving up to the first floor, there was a kitchen and a living area?
Yes,
Okay, so looking at Commonwealth's 85, is this a photograph of the angle of the living area from the kitchen?
yes,
Okay. In this photograph, can I draw your attention to the window area and the stationary object in front of it? Can
yes.
you tell me what that was?
That was a bar cart style counter with 2 bar stools in front of it.
Okay. What, if anything, did you find in the kitchen?
There was a laptop on the kitchen island.
So here in Commonwealth's 86, are you able to see the laptop?
Yes, it's on the right-hand
Is
corner.
it the black object here in the corner?
Yes,
Okay, thank you. Did you find what was later identified as Christine Banfield's cell phone?
yes,
Looking at Commonwealth's 87, is this the bar cart you previously described?
it is. This is the back side of the bar cart.
Okay, and where did you find the phone?
The phone is going to be in the middle top drawer of this bar cart.
All right, so looking at Commonwealth's 88, is that the drawer you're talking about extended?
Yes,
Okay, and what do we see there in the middle of the drawer?
it's going to be the cell phone in question.
All right, Commonwealth's 89, is that the cell phone?
Yes,
And Commonwealth's 90, is this the back side of the phone that you found?
yes.
90 we hadn't put in evidence yet, so I took
Oh, I
that off the
apologize.
screen. So do you want 90 in
I do.
evidence? And I understand there's no objections on 90 in evidence. Okay, go ahead. Thank you, Shannon.
Judge, I would then offer Commonwealth's 91 through 97 into evidence.
All right, again, I understand there's no objection. Okay, all
And I
right.
apologize, Judge, I think I had said 98 originally and was just not clear in my speech.
Okay,
Thank you. All
90 to
right.
97, okay.
Detective Forner, did you have the opportunity to then move upstairs in the home?
Yes,
All right, and did you take photographs of the bedroom belonging to Juliana?
yes.
Okay, is this that bedroom?
This is her bedroom.
And how did you identify this bedroom as hers?
There's a Brazilian flag, excuse me, above the bed, and I also was able to locate an expired Virginia driver's license for Juliana on a dresser.
All right. Commonwealth's 92, is this still her bedroom?
Yes.
What is it that we see on the dresser to the left?
There are hygiene products.
Her personal effects?
Yes,
All right. Commonwealth's 93, is this Juliana's closet?
this is.
All right, was there anything that caught your attention in that closet?
There were red lingerie-style clothing items, and then the yellow T-shirt with the green border on the sleeves.
Did you have the opportunity to look for any signs of forced entry in the home?
I did.
Okay, and did you make any observations that would have indicated there was a struggle at any other area in the home other than the primary bedroom?
I did not locate any obvious signs.
Thank you. Did you have the opportunity to return to the home on October 13th, 2023?
I did,
Why were you there on that date?
for a subsequent search warrant.
Okay, and on that date, did you again photograph the house?
I did,
Did you inspect the bedroom that had been Juliana's?
yes.
Directing you to Commonwealth's 94, is this the same room?
This is the same room.
How were you able to identify it?
The Brazilian flag above the bed.
Did you notice that anything had changed?
There were no longer any items in the closet.
How about anywhere else in the room? Were her personal effects still on that dresser, if you recall?
I do not recall the dresser.
Okay. Did you eventually find her clothes?
I did.
Where did you find them?
They had been moved to the primary bedroom's closet.
Commonwealth's 95, is this the primary bedroom closet?
Yes,
And was there anything that you saw in the closet that made it clear to you they were Juliana's clothes?
there were the red lingerie-style clothing items and the yellow T-shirt with the green hem on the sleeves.
All right, and Commonwealth's 96, another angle of the same closet?
Yes,
And we see the yellow and green shirt there on the second row?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Had there been any other changes in the primary bedroom?
They had gotten new flooring, new bedroom furniture, and pictures that had once featured Brendan and Christine had been taken down and replaced with Brendan and Juliana together.
So showing you Commonwealth's 97, is this the primary bedroom?
This is.
In October of 2023, 8 months after the murders.
Yes.
And I'm going to zoom in here. Is this one of the photographs you were speaking of?
It is.
Okay. And did we see others in the room?
Yes. That is a second photo.
Okay. All right. Detective Forner.
Now I'd like to turn to the autopsy of Christine Banfield. Were you able to determine, I'll give you a moment to get situated. Were you able to determine, I'm sorry, was she clothed when you examined her?
She was partially clothed with socks.
Did she have anything else on her person other than clothing?
Yes, there were glasses on the top of her head and her hair. She had a necklace around her neck. She had earrings in her earlobes, and she had 2 rings on her left fourth finger.
And were you able to determine her height and weight?
Yes,
After documenting her weight, her socks, jewelry, and glasses, what did you do with the items?
the personal effects were photographed and packaged and transferred to law enforcement.
I'm going to show you a photograph that I'm going to identify as Commonwealth's Exhibit 50, and I'd ask for it to be shown to the witness and counsel only at this point. Do you recognize this photo?
Yes,
How do you recognize it?
it has the ruler with the case number on it.
And what is depicted in the photo?
It is the glasses after they were removed from her body.
And is it a true and accurate depiction of the glasses that, as they were collected from Christine as at the time of her autopsy?
Yes,
Judge, I'd ask the court to admit this as Commonwealth's Exhibit 50 and publish it to the jury.
Okay, any objection to 50?
No objection, Your Honor.
Okay, 50 in evidence. Yeah.
And I'm sorry, you said these glasses were found where on her person?
the top of her head.
And at this point, could I ask for the gallery view to be terminated?
Thank you. Would the jury also, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Did you take any physical samples from the body?
Yes,
And can you describe what samples you took and what you did with them?
yes. I also completed a PERC kit, a physical evidence recovery kit, which included the standard samples, head hair, oral swabs, underwear, combed pubic hair, pulled pubic hair, vaginal swabs, anorectal swabs, a blood card, fingernail clippings. In addition to the standard samples for the PERC kit, I also completed swabs of the palms, swabs of the backs of the hands, swabs of both sides of the neck, and swabs of each breast. And I removed various fibers from her body.
And what did you do with those samples when you collected them?
All of those samples were packaged and transferred to law enforcement.
And is there a particular, was that also in a physical evidence recovery kit?
Yes,
Okay. And if we could, let's talk about the physical findings from your examination. I'm going to direct you to page 6 of your report in the section titled Evidence of Injury. And Judge, if we could display Commonwealth's Exhibit 11 to the jury.
They're seeing it.
Okay. There it is. Okay. You described some of the wounds as cutting wounds and some of the wounds as stab wounds. Can you describe the difference for us, please?
By definition, both wounds are sharp force injuries, so some injuries that are caused by something sharp, like a knife. Stab wounds, by definition, are deeper than they are long on the skin, and cutting wounds are longer on the surface of the skin than they go deep.
And I am going to show you a series of photographs at this point, and if I could have the view now be to counsel and the witness only for this portion. I'm going to show you a number of photos that I'm going to identify by number as I move through them, and just ask you to look at them at this point. I've got Commonwealth's 22, Commonwealth's 23, Commonwealth's 24, Commonwealth's 25, Commonwealth's 27, Commonwealth's 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, oops,
It should be 39 and
Sorry.
40.
sorry, not 38, 39,
Not 38.
not 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, and 49. Do you recognize these photographs?
Yes.
And how do you recognize them?
They're all photographs of Ms. Banfield at the time of autopsy that have the ruler with the case number.
Judge, at this point, and are they a true and accurate depiction of what you saw as you performed the autopsy and took these photographs?
Yes.
Judge, at this point, I'd ask the court to admit the photographs, and then I'm going to talk about them and display
All
them.
right. Any
Judge,
objection?
may we approach?
Yes. All right, so I will enter into evidence then 22, 23, 24, 25, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, all entered evidence over the objection of the defendant and under seal.
Thank you. Okay. All right. Okay. If these can be published to the,
They are.
okay, gotcha. Looking at Commonwealth's Exhibits 22 and 23, can you describe where on Christine's body this stab wound appeared?
This is the left side of her neck, and it's a stab wound that's horizontally oriented on the left side of her neck with a cutting wound extending from the superior, which is the top aspect of the stab wound on the left side of her neck.
And going forward to 24 and 25, can you describe where on Christine's body this area of multiple stab wounds appeared?
Yes, this is the left side of her face and neck, or I'm sorry, the right side of her face and neck. There are multiple stab wounds and cutting wounds in this photograph. There is a vertical stab wound depicted as letter C on my autopsy report, which injures muscle and goes to the bottom of her skull and causes a fractured notched defect. There are 3 stab wounds on the left side of her neck that you can also see in this photograph. They're closely oriented on the skin. The wound paths commingle, meaning overlap, underneath the skin and the muscle in her neck. And they injure the left jugular vein, which is a major vein in the neck, the right carotid artery, and the larynx, which is the breathing tube, the epiglottis, the esophagus. There is a stab wound at the anterior aspect as well, kind of towards the front of her face with a cutting wound, as well as an abrasion present in this photograph.
And can you describe the various depths of the wounds that we see here?
The wounds range from a quarter of an inch deep to up to 2.5 inches deep.
And what means or observations, given your training and experience, informed your conclusions regarding the number of stab wounds on this side of Christine's neck?
In terms of the number, I counted. And for the ones that are very closely oriented beside each other, I used my training and experience to reapproximate them. The elastic fibers in the skin, kind of pull them apart more so that I could reorient them to be able to kind of put them back together to see them better.
And are any of the wounds that you described on this side of her neck or the other, are any of them immediately fatal?
No, they're all rapidly fatal injuries.
And did you note any additional injuries to Christine's body during your exam?
Yes, she had abrasions and contusions about her body.
And you recorded those.
I did.
Before we move on to those, I am going to retrieve Commonwealth's Exhibit 26. Commonwealth's Exhibit 26.
All right, any objection to 26, Mr. Kerr?
I'm sorry, Judge.
Any objection to 26, the knife? Okay. All right, entered into evidence, 26.
If we could remove it from the, and then if, Dr. Kessler, that item, Commonwealth's Exhibit 26, as you're looking at it, is that item something that could have caused the wounds to Christine Banfield's neck?
Yes, it is a single-edged knife of a compatible size with the injuries on her neck.
And if we could display it on the document camera?
Sure.
Maybe.
It's the button on the top, if you could. There you go.
Here, then. There you go.
There's a button that zooms in and out too, if you need it. There you go.
Thank you. We can put it away for now. Okay. I would like to talk about some of the additional injuries that you noted in your report. The photographs that we're going to be looking at have already been admitted, but they are under seal. So we're looking at Commonwealth's Exhibit 27. Can you describe the injuries that are depicted in that photo?
In this photograph of the front of Christine's head and face, there is a abrasion on her forehead. There's an abrasion on her left eyelid. You can see abrasions on the left side of her chin.
And then moving on to 28 and 29, can you describe the injuries that we're seeing in these photos?
This photograph shows 3 abrasions on the left side of her chin.
And I am going to go back to 24, which we've seen before. Is there an additional injury that you noted that we can see in this photo?
Yeah. On the right side of her chin at the angle of the jaw, there are contusions, which are bruises.
And going forward to Commonwealth's 30, and you describe the injury that we see here.
That is an abrasion on the underside of her chin.
And in Commonwealth's 31, can you describe the injuries additional to the stab wounds that we see?
There's an abrasion at the kind of the back side of the neck. There's a bruise on the top of the right shoulder.
And moving forward to 32 and 33, can you describe the injuries we see in these photos?
In this photograph, there is a cutting wound on the top of the left shoulder with 2 adjacent abrasions or scrapes.
And in Commonwealth's 34, can you describe the injuries that you see in this photo?
In this photograph, you can see a bruise on the front side of her right arm, the upper chest on the right side, and the left side.
And in Commonwealth's 35, go ahead.
Is another photograph of the bruise on the front side of her right arm.
And Commonwealth's 36 and Commonwealth's 37, can you describe this injury for us?
This is a photograph of a bruise on the inside of her right arm.
And looking at Commonwealth's 39, can you describe that injury for us?
And that is a more close-up photograph of the bruise on the front side of her right arm.
And Commonwealth's 40.
This is a photograph of her body from the right lateral, the side, which includes the bruise on the front of her right arm.
And Commonwealth's 41, can you describe the injury for us in this photo?
This photo shows a portion of the right hand, the palm, and the right forearm, and there are abrasions across the forearm.
And 42, Commonwealth's 42.
Is a bruise on the back side of the right hand.
And Commonwealth's 43, can you describe the injury in that photo?
This is the inside of the left arm, or the medial aspect, and it shows bruises.
And you say medial aspect, what's that part? What does that mean?
The inside, the side that's closer to your body.
And in Commonwealth's 44, what injury do we see here?
This is the front side of her right thigh, and there is a dark bruise and a fainter horizontal bruise across the front of the right thigh.
And in Commonwealth's 45, can you describe what injuries we're seeing here?
This is a picture of the left leg at the knee, and just below the knee there is a bruise on the left leg.
And in Commonwealth's 46 and Commonwealth's 47, can you describe the injuries that we see in those photos?
These are photographs of the front side of the right thigh. The first photograph is further away, the second is close up, again, of a bruise.
And in Commonwealth's 48 and 49, can you describe the injury in that photo?
This is a photograph of the back side of her left leg at her calf. The first is a far away picture, and the second is a closer up photograph, also of a bruise.
When I was reading your report, I noticed that the abrasions are all described as orange or red. Is there any significance to orange and red abrasions?
The color red typically describes bleeding, or what we call vital reaction. So the body is perfused, there's blood in the capillaries and the blood vessels around that area, the heart is pumping, there's a pulse. Vital reaction are typically associated with red abrasions and injuries. Orange abrasions are a little more unclear. They can be what we call perimortem, which is at or around the time of death, or they could be postmortem, after death, and they are lacking that red vital reaction.
And I also noticed that the contusions or bruises are all described as purple, blue, pink, gray. Is there any significance to these colors?
As we're all well aware, bruises can come in a variety of colors. Typically, after a bruise appears, it can have a different appearance on different people. And as a bruise breaks down and heals and ages, it can change colors. Typically, a bruise that is more than 24 or 48 hours, a bruise that is yellow or green is typically more than 24 or 48 hours. Just because a bruise isn't yellow or green doesn't mean that you can age it.
And so if you noted green or yellow contusions, would you be able to tell us how old those were?
That would be more definitive evidence of, yes, that is an older bruise.
So is it fair to say that the bruises that we see on Christine Banfield are not as old as a yellow or green bruise would be?
There are no yellow or green bruises, so therefore there is no definitive evidence of older bruises.
And I want to talk a bit again about the wound paths in the cutting wounds and the stab wounds on Christine's neck. Is there anything about their location on her body, their shape, their commingled nature that can tell us anything significant about her condition when they were inflicted?
Because they are closely oriented, the shapes are needed to be reapproximated, which could indicate movement by her or the assailant in the knife, which indicates she is alive.
And when you examined her respiratory system during the autopsy, what, if anything, did you find?
There is evidence of hemoaspiration, breathing of blood into the lungs, and swallowing of blood into the stomach, indicating she's alive.
And when you examined her gastrointestinal tract, what, if anything, did you find?
There's blood in her stomach from swallowing.
What is the significance of finding blood in the area where you found it?
It's from the injury of the upper airway and the esophagus, so the breathing tube and the food tube in the neck, and that blood is traveling down into the lungs and down into the stomach.
And I noted that the location was listed as the lumen. What does that mean?
That means inside the stomach.
And does the amount of bloody fluid have any significance?
There was 50 milliliters of blood in the stomach, so that's, some can travel passively, but that's how much was present in the stomach.
And do you have a reasonable opinion within a reasonable degree of medical certainty as to the cause and manner of the death of Christine Banfield?
Yes.
And what is that?
The cause of death is multiple sharp force injuries, and the manner of death is homicide.
I don't have any further questions for you. Mr. Carroll.
I am going to ask you to identify what has been marked and introduced as Defense Exhibit 88.
It's just been marked, not introduced, but.
Oh, sorry. I thought 88 was.
Oh, 88 is, you're right, 88 is an evidence.
Do you recognize that?
It's an email.
Okay. And what's your role in this email?
Without context, it's hard to say. I think it has to do with an executive summary that I was having Detective Miller review.
Okay, so is that the executive summary right there? Was that the attachment?
I believe so.
Okay. Well, during that time frame, perhaps you can recall, during the time frame of November 8th, were you communicating with Sergeant Brian Ames then?
Yes, I was.
Okay, and you were communicating about the digital forensic executive summary?
That's correct.
Okay. Your Honor, I think that's in evidence.
That's in
Can we
evidence.
publish that? Is it already?
It's already been published.
Okay,
If it's in
thank you.
evidence, we publish it.
Sir, I'm going to have you look at what has been marked as and moved into evidence as number 89. Does that give you more context in identifying it?
Yes, I believe this was after the co-defendant in this case came in for a proffer. And those attachments or links, I guess would be the better term, At the bottom are links to the attachment, or to the body-worn camera that was used to record that proffer. There were 2 parts.
Okay, and in this instance, you went to Brian Ames with the 2 proffers, correct?
That's correct.
And was there a phone call that went along this? Where did he get his direction from?
I don't recall. I think we talked, I don't remember if it was a phone call or an in-person conversation, but after the proffer, we had a conversation about some of the forensics reports and the need to revisit them.
Okay, and the need to change them, correct?
No, sir.
Okay. Was there an attempt to update, sorry, I'll leave that there so you can see it. Was there an attempt to update the digital forensics based on the proffers that you sent?
So we had a meeting, I think it was after these emails, there was a meeting set up with Sergeant Ames and the 2 Brendan Millers. Names are slightly different, but they work in the same unit, to go over the, basically all the digital forensics and to understand why they came to certain conclusions previously and understand how the evidence was correctly, how it would have been correctly analyzed.
Okay, and that was entirely based upon the proffer of Juliana Peres Magalhães?
I think it was partially based on it. I think there was some question about the analysis from the leadership, both me and above me, prior to that.
Are you talking about Deputy Chief Bruce?
Yeah, he would be one of the people, yes.
Okay, and so, well, I guess, so what you're saying is that you analyzed the digital forensics and you arrived at a different conclusion than your expert?
So I reviewed the data, and I think the data is what the data is. I think the context and how you analyze what it may mean is different.
Okay, and so you were looking at the more the conclusions?
I would say the logic used to arrive at certain conclusions.
Okay. And this is with Brendan Miller's report,
Correct.
the executive summary?
That's one of them, yeah.
Okay. And did you ever talk to Brendan Miller and have him show his work?
Yes,
How many times did you do that?
several.
Okay, and when you were doing that, were you trying to get him to change?
Not the data, the analysis.
Okay,
And I wouldn't say change, I would say to understand what I was seeing.
okay. Are you aware of this email?
What number is this?
This is actually, sorry, 90.
90,
And
so
it's
it is
been
evidence.
introduced, yes.
Okay, thank you.
I'm not aware of this email, no.
Okay. I think it might have been the day before.
Well, yeah, some of it, obviously, the one I sent, I'm aware of. The one at the top, I assumed is what you were speaking about. I'm not aware of that one.
Okay. And is it accurate in terms of how he characterizes it?
Judge, the witness just indicated he's not aware of the document.
He's aware of the bottom part, I think is what he said, so if you want to direct your questions to that.
Well, I think I can ask him questions, Judge, about whether the body of it is accurate, whether it's being communicated properly.
What, if he recognized it, he said he didn't recognize it, so I'll sustain that objection.
Okay. Do you recognize the content of what's being sent?
I'm not sure what you're asking.
The body of?
I mean, I can read it,
Sergeant
if that's what
Ames?
you're, I can read it and
Does
understand it.
that sound like what you said to him?
Yeah, I think that's pretty accurate.
Okay. Sir, I'm going to ask you to identify what has been, or look at what has been identified as Defense Exhibit 90?
No,
Nope.
Oh, sorry,
this-
91?
This is 91, which is
Yes,
not in
91,
evidence.
Sorry. So I'd be most interested in you looking at this area down here. Is that something that you created?
I wrote that email, yes.
Okay. And Your Honor, I move this in as Defense
91.
Exhibit 91.
Any objection?
I can have the court's indulgence for 1
Yes,
second.
ma'am.
No objection.
All right, 91 in evidence. Publish it, or it goes away.
Now, I'm going to go through a series of communications where it's multiple people. And so what I'm going to ask you is whether or not you recognize the communication and whether you're involved in the communication.
Okay.
Okay? So this would be exhibit number 92. Do you see that?
Yes.
And does that look like the communication that you were involved with?
Yes, I believe the blue bubbles are mine.
Okay. We still don't have the third person, so I'm just going to identify that, Judge. and
That's still 92.
92. Sir, do you recognize that text message chain?
I do.
And are you involved in that?
That's my, in blue as well.
I'm sorry, in the blue?
The blue is my
Okay.
text, yes.
Thank you. Do you recognize that message? That would be Exhibit 93.
It's exhibit 94.
This is 94.
94. I apologize, Judge. 94.
Yes,
Okay, and that's a communication that you remember?
I do.
And it looks as though it's Patrick Bruch is one, and who's the other one?
Sally Fayez?
Okay, and Sally Fayez is, what's her position within,
She's the director of the Victim Services Department or
Okay.
unit.
is she are you a direct report for her?
I'm not sure what you're,
Am I speaking in, is she or do you directly report to her?
no, I never have.
Okay. Who did you directly report to while you were in homicide?
Well, I had, I guess, Captain John Bobel, Major Dan Spital, and Deputy Chief Patrick Bruch.
Okay. Did you have any privilege to report directly to Patrick Bruch when he was the deputy chief?
For the purpose of this case, he was my primary report.
Okay, so it would just be the two of you communicating, much like these messages?
I mean, the other commanders were part of it, but he was the primary person that I reported to.
Sir, I'm going to ask you to identify if you are involved in this, if you are involved in this, which is a Defense Exhibit 96, 95.
95.
Yes, I believe that's my text in blue as well.
Okay. And do you remember this day?
I believe that was the day after the arrest of the defendant.
Okay. Thank you. Sir, do you recognize this has been identified as Defense Exhibit 96?
97? We're on 96. No, we're just on 95.
96, you're right?
96, yes. Do you recognize that?
I do.
And that's just a direct message between you and Patrick Bruce?
That's correct.
Okay. And do you remember the context of it based on looking at it?
That was on the eve of the preliminary hearing for the co-defendant.
Your Honor, I'd move this in as Defense Exhibit 96.
Any objection?
No objection.
96 in evidence, and can be published.
And so you're in blue again, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and Big Day, you're speaking of what you just said, which is the preliminary hearing?
Correct.
Okay, and you reference Klingon? Are you
Yes.
talking about Eric Klingon, the prosecutor?
Yes, sir.
Okay, he was the prosecutor on this case back then, correct?
Yes, he was.
And just describe for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury, what's the communication about?
Your Honor, if counsel is asking the witness to read it, I would object. It has not yet been moved into evidence.
He asked him what it's about, so I'll overrule the objection.
You can go ahead and answer.
It's about being nervous for the preliminary hearing.
Okay, and that's between you and Deputy Chief Bruce?
Correct.
Okay, were you directly involved in the preliminary hearing that day?
No.
Okay. And was that the day of the hearing?
I believe it's the evening before, or, yeah, the evening before.
Okay, the preliminary hearing was on April 1st?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And were you involved in the preparation? Is that why you're privy to that?
Well, I was the supervisor. I'm sorry. Oh, closer. Sorry, it sounds loud to me. I'm sorry, can you repeat the questions?
Were you directly involved with the preparation for the preliminary hearing?
Yeah, I mean, I was the supervisor of the homicide unit.
Okay, but you didn't have any investigatory role in this?
No, in this case, I wasn't involved in any interviews. I didn't collect any evidence. I simply oversaw the investigation starting in, I think, early March 2024, so about 13 months after the murder.
Okay. Is it customary for lieutenants not to be involved in any of those things?
At the time, I was a sergeant, but yeah, I think that's fairly normal. The detectives do the investigating, the supervisor oversees it.
Would there be any other reasons why you couldn't prepare for the hearing?
No.
Were you on the Brady list at that time?
Objection is to relevance.
Overruled.
I'm not aware that anybody keeps a Brady list, but the Commonwealth has told me that they make certain disclosures about an investigation where I allowed an employee who had a brain tumor to stay home on light duty at the direction of a commander.
Okay. And so that was one instance when you were put on the Brady list. Have you been put on the Brady list on other occasions?
No.
Objection is to relevance.
Overruled, he answered no.
And the Brady list essentially, well, you tell me, what is the Brady list?
Well, like I said, I don't think there's a Brady list, but the Commonwealth makes disclosures based on opinions that they form about a case.
And the underlying finding is truthfulness, correct?
No.
Okay. Now, there's comment in here about catfishing. Was that a concern on March 30th, 2024, amongst you and Deputy Chief Bruce?
Was catfishing a
There's a
concern?
comment here. I'm just trying to get the context of that.
So based on the evidence, I think that after I reviewed it, it was about a month in, I believe that it was overwhelming that this was a catfish. I think the term has been used kind of across the board now. That was set up by the defendant, yes.
Okay, and after doing 1 month's worth of work as a lieutenant, you were able to arrive at that conclusion?
I was a sergeant at the time, but yes.
Okay, and describe for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury, what were your digital forensics qualifications in order to arrive at that conclusion?
Well, I reviewed sort of the evidence that was provided to me by the digital forensics people. You know, for instance, the accounts were created in January. They had never, you know, they were brand new accounts. That was unusual to me. We reviewed Christine's history. I think it went back to the mid-2000s. She had never so much as visited a porn site that we could find, so I thought that was...
I guess my question was about the digital forensics.
Well, I think reviewing her digital footprint, there was no evidence of that. There were 2 occasions where the co-defendants were out of town for 48 to 36 hours, and none of the accounts, the CB 920 at Gmail wasn't used, the FetLife account wasn't used, the Telegram account wasn't used. It seemed unusual to me that that wouldn't happen while they were out of the house.
So if I can, let me just redirect you back to digital forensics.
Well, this is all part of the digital evidence, right? So,
Not your opinion as to whether or not it's unusual if they're in or out of town.
Just want to
That's
ask
not-
you ask your next question.
Yes. So in terms of catfishing, that was a theory that you were pushing, correct?
that I was,
Pushing.
it's what I believe the evidence overwhelmingly supported, yes.
And you then attempted to educate the homicide detectives about that,
Objection,
correct?
leading.
All right, I'll stay this lead.
What, if anything, did you do with the homicide detectives in order to convince them of your theory?
We reviewed the evidence many times between March and September. However, it wasn't until the co-defendant came into proffer that everybody was in agreement that the catfish was the actual correct.
Okay,
theory.
so once again, it was the co-defendant, not the digital forensics, that caused that conclusion, correct?
That's not my opinion, no.
Okay.
I'd like first to talk about the autopsy of Joe Ryan. Were you able to determine his height and weight?
Yes,
And was his body clothed when you began your exam?
yes.
After documenting the clothing, what did you do with it?
The clothing was removed, photographed, and packaged and transferred to law enforcement.
And did you take any physical samples from his body?
Yes, I did.
Can you describe what physical samples you took and what you did with them?
What's called a PERC kit was completed, which is a physical evidence recovery kit. It's something that consists of specific samples to include head hair, swabs from the oral cavity of the mouth, the underwear, comb of the pubic hair, pulled pubic hair, genital swabs, and anorectal swabs. Also, a sample of blood on a blood card and fingernail clippings. In addition to that PERC kit, I also did swabs of the palms and the backs of the hands and fibers from one of the hands as well.
And what did you do with these samples after you finished collecting them for the physical evidence recovery kit?
I placed them in sealed bags and transferred them to law enforcement.
And can you describe for the jury what your physical findings were from the examination of Joe's body?
He had 2 gunshot wounds.
And where were those 2 gunshot wounds located?
There's a gunshot wound of the head. The entrance was on the right side of the head. And there was a gunshot wound of the chest, which with the entrance on the left side of the chest.
I am going to first show you Commonwealth 13, and I'd ask that to be displayed to the witness and counsel only at this point. And Judge, as we described, these photos are sealed.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Do you recognize this photo?
I do.
And how do you recognize it?
It's a photograph from Autopsy that has the ruler with the case number N2023-00363 on it.
And what does the image depict?
It is a right profile view of Mr. Ryan's head.
And is it a true and accurate depiction of the wound as you saw it and when you performed Joe Ryan's autopsy?
Yes.
Judge, I'd ask to admit this as Commonwealth 13 and publish it to the jury.
Any objection?
No.
All right, 13 under seal to the jury.
Can you tell the jury what is meant by the terms entry wound and exit wound as it pertains to a wound caused by a bullet?
An entrance wound is where a bullet enters the body. An exit wound is where it might exit the body and leave the body.
And were you able to tell if this wound to Joe Ryan's head was an entry or an exit wound?
Yes.
How can you tell that this bullet was an entry wound?
It's an entrance wound. It has a characteristic round appearance with an abrasion to the edges of it. And also, there is no exit. A bullet was recovered from the wound path within his head.
And what means, if any, exists that would inform a medical examiner's determinations regarding the distance from which a person had been shot?
When a gun is fired, not just does the bullet leave the muzzle, soot, dirt, debris, there is burning gunpowder flakes that are leaving the muzzle as well. And if the gun's fired close enough to the person, the skin, it can be deposited and cause some characteristic injuries on the skin. If it's fired from farther away, those particles are light enough that they kind of drop out and they don't leave any evidence.
Were you able to make any determinations about the physical distance between Joe and the person who shot him from your examination of this head wound?
Based on this examination, the distance is indeterminate. There's no evidence of soot or stippling on the skin of the wound.
And in relation to where the entry wound is located, can you tell us where and how the bullet traveled after entering Joe's head?
The bullet entered the skin on the right side of the head, injured muscles of soft tissue, the skull, the facial bones, the bones around the eye, the right eye, and the left cheek, and caused fractures of the base of the skull, bleeding on the brain. And it traveled from right to left, back to front to back, and downward.
And given the path of travel of the bullet through those areas, which of Joe's bodily functions might have been impacted or would have been impacted, and how?
It is causing, the wound path caused bleeding on the brain, which is an injury of the brain. It impacted his eye. He can no longer see, he has no eye. There's evidence that there was breathing of blood, hemoaspiration, and swallowing of blood.
And what if any effect would you expect this injury to have on a person's ability to see, speak, or make vocal sounds?
So the injury, the gunshot wound path injures the right eye. The left eye is still intact. He could see, potentially. To be able to speak or make noises, the injury is not of his larynx where the vocal cords are, where the sounds are generated, so potentially could still make noises. There's no physical injury of that area.
And in the course of your work as a medical examiner, are you able to quantify in terms of time the speed at which a bullet wound would be able to kill someone?
Sometimes.
And can you describe those temporal differences? How you would describe them?
There are times when I can say a wound is immediately or instantly fatal, and that's typically when it's an injury that disconnects the brainstem and the head, ceasing breathing and heart functions. This wound is still intact. This wound is considered rapidly fatal, meaning seconds to minutes, injuring vital structures of the body with some survival.
And given that you found no exit wound caused by this bullet, were you able to locate the bullet, and where was it?
Yes. A bullet fragment was recovered from the left cheek, just in front of the left ear, and bullet fragments were also recovered through the wound path in the head.
And what did you do upon locating locating this item in Joe's head?
The bullet fragments were photographed, placed into a bag, and sealed and transferred to police.
And at this point, I'm going to retrieve Commonwealth's Exhibit 14. I'm going to pass up, if I could, what I'm identifying as Commonwealth's 14. And I'm going to ask if you're familiar with that exhibit.
Yes, I am.
And how are you familiar with it?
It is a bag containing my bag, which I sealed, and that bag contains a note card labeled fragments, my signature, as well as the fragments.
And is this exhibit in the same or substantially similar condition beyond the packaging as when you removed those from Joe's head during the autopsy?
It is.
And Judge, at this point, I'd ask to admit and publish Exhibit 14.
Any objection?
No objection.
All right, 14. How do you wish to publish?
Judge, we'll just leave it there at this point in
Okay.
time because I'm going to move on to
All right, that's fine.
a few other things, and then we can publish a bit later.
Okay.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as Commonwealth's Exhibit 15 photograph, and I'd ask for this to be displayed to the witness and counsel only. Can you see the photograph?
Yes.
Can you tell us what this image depicts?
It's a photograph after Mr. Ryan has been cleaned up from his head down to his torso.
And how do you recognize it?
It also has the ruler with the case number.
And is this a true and accurate depiction of this chest wound as you performed Joe Ryan's autopsy?
Yes.
Judge, at this point, I'd ask the court to admit this as Commonwealth's 15, and this can be published to the jury.
Any objection?
No objection.
All right, 15 under seal and to the jury.
And was there any evidence present that would have helped you determine the distance between this injury and the firearm that inflicted it?
There was no visible soot or stippling on the skin around this wound.
And when you examined his clothing, the clothing that was present, did you find any defects in that clothing that he was wearing when you began your exam?
Yes, there was a hole in the left side, the front side of the shirt.
Okay. I am going to show you Commonwealth's 17, 18, and 19, their photographs. I'm going to ask for them to be displayed to the witness and counsel only at first. This is 17, 18, and 19. Do you recognize these photographs?
Yes,
And how do you recognize them?
they are photographs of the shirt, the first of which had the ruler.
And is this the shirt that you removed from Joe Ryan during his autopsy?
It is.
And are they all true and accurate depictions of the shirt as you saw it during the autopsy?
It is.
Judge, at this point, I'd ask the court to admit as Commonwealth 17, 18, and 19 the photographs of the shirt and then allow them to be published to the jury.
And you want them under seal also?
Judge, I don't think that these need to be under seal. There's
That's
nothing. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Any objection?
No objection.
All right, 17, 18, 19.
So first showing 17, 18, and 19. And if we could terminate the view to the gallery at this point?
Yes, thank you.
I am going to show you Commonwealth's Exhibit 20, which is another photograph. And I'm going to ask for it to be displayed to the witness and counsel only. Can you see the photograph?
Yes,
Okay. And do you recognize this photo?
yes.
And how do you recognize it?
It has the ruler with the case number and is a photograph of the middle section of Mr. Ryan's body before the clothing and medical intervention has been removed.
And is it a true and accurate depiction as you saw this view during the autopsy?
Yes,
And at this point, Judge, what I'd ask the court to do is admit Commonwealth's Exhibit 20, and I'd ask for this to be sealed.
All right, any objection?
No objection.
All right, 20 under seal, thank you.
And then you said before medical interventions were removed. Can you describe the medical interventions?
as seen in this photograph, there are 2 EKG electrodes on the lower portion of the abdomen. You can see one on the arm. There's also a chest seal, which is an adhesive seal over the gunshot wound on the left side of the chest.
And the chest wound, is the chest wound an entry wound or an exit wound?
An entrance wound.
And how do we know this?
It is round, has an abrasion, and a bullet is recovered from the body.
In relation to where the entry wound is located, can you tell us where and how the bullet traveled after it entered Joe's chest?
The bullet injures the skin, soft tissue, and the muscle, the rib cage, the pericardium, which is the sac that the heart resides in, the heart, the aorta, which is a major blood vessel coming off of the heart, and the outside of the esophagus, which is the food tube to the stomach, and the T8 spine. The bullet traveled from left to right, front to back, and upward.
And given the path of travel of the bullet through these areas of Joe's chest and his upper body, can you tell us which of Joe's bodily functions would have been impacted and how?
The injury of the rib cage will impact breathing. The rib cage is needed for breathing. The injury of the pericardium in the heart puts a hole in the heart, so therefore it is now bleeding, leaking blood, and no longer pumping blood to the body effectively. There are holes in the aorta, which is a major blood vessel carrying blood, so now it is also bleeding. And there is injury of the T8 spine, the actual bone that the spinal cord is in. And the spinal cord itself is markedly softened, it's contusion, and bleeding around it, so it is also injured.
And given that that there is no exit wound that we've seen, were you able to locate this bullet?
Yes,
And what did you do upon locating the bullet?
it was removed and photographed and sealed and transferred to police.
Do you recall where in the body it was removed from?
It was removed from the T8 spine.
And at this point, I'm going to show you what's been marked, what I will identify as Commonwealth's Exhibit 21. Are you familiar with that exhibit?
I am.
And how are you familiar with it?
It is the bullet with the labeled card, bullet chest with my signature inside the sealed bag, which I sealed and initialed.
And is it in the same or substantially similar condition as it was when you removed it from
Yes.
Joe's body during the autopsy? And Judge, at this point, what I'd ask the court to do is admit this as Commonwealth's Exhibit 21.
Any objection?
No objection.
21?
And Judge, if we could just simply allow the jury to see the exhibits, I can walk them.
Did you want to do it with a document camera, or?
I was just going to walk them around, or not.
I'd prefer the document camera if you could, it'd just be easier, but if you're concerned about it. You want to get to back to her. You just have to touch the top button. There you
privacy screens are making it difficult.
Yes.
And these are the fragments that you recovered from the head, is that correct?
Yes.
And then, are you able also to see this on screen?
I am.
And is that the bullet that you recovered from the chest?
Yes.
Thank you. Going to, these have been admitted, so. They've been admitted evidence, we'll take them. When you examined Joe's heart, was there anything about the structure and its injuries that was significant?
As I previously said, the bullet traveled through the heart. So now the heart is leaking, bleeding, and is no longer able to effectively pump blood.
And are you able to make any determination about his condition when that bullet injured his heart?
There was 1,200 milliliters of blood in the left side of the left chest cavity, which is 1.2 liters. So with the hole in the heart, some blood will leak passively out. However, to get 1.2 liters of blood into the left chest cavity, there has to be some sort of a pulse indicating there is some survival for at least an amount of time.
And regarding the blood that was on Joe's face, did either the head wound or the chest wound result in that amount of blood on his face?
There's a gunshot wound to the right side of his head, and as is, when I received his body, there was blood from his nose, ears, and mouth. And that injury of the gunshot wound to the head injured the skull and the facial bones, which injured the sinus cavities and the airways. So it can result in blood coming out of the ears, nose, and mouth and onto the face.
And do you have a reasonable opinion within a reasonable degree of medical certainty as to the cause and manner of death of Joe Ryan?
Yes.
And what are they?
The cause of death is multiple gunshot wounds, and the manner is homicide.
So if you're seeing on your screen Commonwealth's Exhibit 2, that's the second one that I'm going to talk to you about. And then I'm going to show Commonwealth's Exhibit 3. And this would be the third one that I'm going to talk to you about.
Okay.
Okay? Now, I showed you three files. Do you recognize those files?
Yes,
And how do you recognize them?
I actually reviewed them this morning before court.
I was just going to ask you if you've reviewed these exhibits before today. You've already answered that. Have you modified these calls in any way?
No,
At this point, Judge, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask the court to, I'm going to move these in as Commonwealth's Exhibit 1, 2, and 3.
Any objection to Commonwealth's 1, 2, 3? All right, 1, 2, and 3 are in evidence.
Before I play them, what I would like to do is ask you some questions about the timing of them. When we're looking at Commonwealth's Exhibit 1, and I'm going to go back to Commonwealth's Exhibit 1 on your screen, hopefully for you. At the bottom, it's at the bottom left-hand side of my screen.
Yes.
The numbers 74732. What do those numbers indicate?
that means the call was received, answered at 7:47 a.m.
Okay. And then the timestamp on Commonwealth's Exhibit 2, likewise, I'm going to put that back up on the screen. And we see 7:47:49.
And that call was placed, that was an outgoing call at 7:49 a.m.
Okay. And then looking at Commonwealth's Exhibit Number 3. We see that that is 8:02:05.
And that was a 911 call received, answered at 8:02 a.m.
Okay. Thank you. At this point, Judge, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the 911 calls.
All right.
This is one.
February 24, 2023, 7:47, 32.
Fairfax County 911, where's your emergency? Hello, Fairfax County 911.
February 24, 2023, 7:47, 39.
And this is 2.
24, 2023, 7:47, 49.
Please leave your message for 57142621112.
Hello, this is Fairfax County 911. We had a call from this number. If you have an emergency, please hang up and dial 911. This call was named error. You can disregard this message. Thank you.
February 24, 2023, 7:48, 40.
And this is 3.
24, 2023, 8:02:05.
Fairfax County 911, where's your emergency?
I need help. There is my friend. She just was stuck in the knife now. She's bleeding a lot. I don't know what to do anymore.
Okay, where are you located? What's your address?
Oh my God.
Take a deep breath for me. Just let me know your address. Take a deep breath for me. You're on Stablebrook Way? Are you on Stablebrook Way?
Yes.
What's your house number?
It's
Okay.
What's the number of this?
Is there somebody else there that can give me the address? Okay. And what's your name and what's going on?
My name is Brendan Banfield. I'm a federal agent. This is my house. There's somebody here. I shot him. But he stabbed her. She's bleeding. She's got several marks on her neck. What do I do?
Okay. So what I need you to do is apply direct pressure directly to where she's bleeding from, okay? And if it becomes silk, just add more cloth to it. It's already there. How old is the person?
I don't know.
The person that's bleeding?
37.
Okay. Okay, so the person that you shot, where is he?
I don't know him.
Okay, where is he though?
He's here. He's on the ground.
Okay. Okay. And the person that he stabbed, where are they now? Are they still in the house? I have rescue coming to you.
He's bleeding. It's my wife.
It just is what I'm just doesn't know what to do.
Okay, so I want you to get a clean cloth and apply direct pressure to where you're bleeding from, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, are you the one that's bleeding? Just keep applying pressure. Don't remove it. If it becomes soaked, just add more cloth to what is already there. Do not use a tourniquet. If one is already on, don't remove it. And don't throw or flush any blood-soaked items, okay? And, sir, I need you not to touch the weapons or disturb the scene at all. And don't touch or remove any impaled object, okay? Sir, hello? Ma'am, can you hear me?
Let me.
Okay. Are you the one that was injured?
She's not responding.
Last one and one. He's living.
Okay. Can you tell me how her breathing is?
I don't. He's how her breathing is.
She's heart's still beating. She's
Okay.
still breathing.
Okay. Just keep applying pressure to where she's bleeding from and just put her on her side, okay?
On her side?
Yeah, on her side. You said she's breathing normally. She's just not responding to you?
She's got a very big hole in her neck.
Okay. Just keep applying pressure, okay? Just keep adding more cloth that's already there. And who am I speaking to? Who are you, dear? Are you...
With what?
Okay, so who's the person? Where's the person that's bleeding? Where are they in the house?
They're upstairs.
Okay.
In the bedroom.
Okay, and where is the person that was shot? Are they also in the house downstairs?
Yes.
Yeah, he's in the bedroom too.
Okay. Okay.
Can you just send help, please?
Yeah, they're on the way. They're coming to you now, lights and sirens, okay? And any weapon is secured, correct?
Again?
Any weapon is secured?
I have the weapon.
Okay, can you just leave it where it is?
Yeah.
Okay. And you say you don't know the individual that was shot?
No.
No, whatever thing the
Okay.
person.
And sir, where are you? Are you taking care of the person upstairs?
I'm trying.
I was trying, but
Okay.
it takes too long.
Okay, I have officers that are pulling up outside, okay? So just make sure the weapon is placed where it is and it's secure, and just keep applying pressure. And make sure your door is unlocked. Can we make sure that's done?
All right.
Okay. And if there's any animals, please make sure they're put away.
Yeah.
I'm up the door.
Okay. I'm gonna lock the door. What is it, Jim?
Okay, so make sure your weapon is down, sir, and that you're coming to the door with your hands up so the officers can see you.
Okay. I locked.
Okay, and the weapon is down?
Are you there? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. Are they coming?
Yeah, they're on the way. You should see them soon. They're pulling up outside right now. Let me know when you can see them, okay?
I just see them?
You should be able to see them soon.
Huh? I hear them.
Okay, so are we... Okay, and no one has a weapon, right? The weapon's down?
The weapons are down.
Okay.
That one's down.
I hear them.
Okay. They're pulling up outside. Just keep applying pressure to where she's bleeding from and just make sure she's
Okay.
okay.
Not,
Okay, we're doing this. It's okay. Come.
Okay. Let me know if the officers are with you.
When they come here?
Yeah, they're pulling up now. They're gonna make their way to you.
Okay.
I'm showing them outside.
I'm here.
They're here. They can come in.
I'll go ahead and disconnect with you. Speak to the police, okay?
Come in. You guys. It's right here.
Where's the gun at?
We need help.
Where's the gun at?
It's up here.
Right here, on the deck.
He's in the house right here. So, we know.
My house.
This is going on.
My house.
February 24, 2023, 8:10:38.
Judge, I don't have any further questions. Mr. Carroll may have some questions.
Cross-examination.
Ms. Dale, I've heard that before, but when I was listening now, it appeared that there was a lot of typing going on. Do you know, was that typing verbatim what was being said to the dispatch?
Verbatim, no.
Okay. Do you know if the dispatcher typed what my client said, that he was a federal law enforcement officer and that he had shot someone who was in his bedroom? Do you know if they typed that?
I don't remember exactly what was typed into the CAT event as far as what was surmised from the phone call.
Would that be part of the records that you're the custodian of?
Yes,
Okay. Do you recall if it was typed in what he said, which was that he stabbed my wife in the neck?
Objection. I don't think that that was what was said, and we can listen to the call.
What's your legal objection, please?
Seems facts, not in evidence.
Overruled. Go ahead.
Was that transcribed?
in the actual event?
Yes.
I would have to review the record.
Okay. Did you review the record this morning?
I reviewed the phone calls.
The phone calls, okay. So an additional review would be required to know what was sent out that was typed to the by dispatch.
Correct.
Okay. I don't have any further questions, Your Honor.
All right, redirect.
No redirect, Judge.
All right, is this witness subject to recall?
Not by me.
Is she subject to recall, Mr. Carroll? Okay, ma'am, you're free to go. Thank you.
Okay.
Your next witness?
Judge, it's going to be Officer Hugh, Justin Hugh.
You okay with walking in? We'll head out because we're here, okay?
Yeah.
All right, I'll have you step back out this side door that we came in.
Yes. Go, sir.
Step down there.
Just wait right here for us. We're trying to find out what room to put you in.
Can I see her?
No, not yet.
Any voters on channel 3 or 5?
Just take a seat on the bed for me.
You just said that she didn't make it.
I didn't hear what he said, sir.
The cot and stuff probably needs to be switched out.
Can you have someone check with him again?
Okay. What is the nature of the incident?
Check what?
The status of his wife, ma'am.
Hi, sir. My name is Gina. I'm one of the doctors here. Your wife has died.
What is info?
Where's the daughter?
Where's what?
She's still at the scene, sir. She's with the other officers.
Would you guys be able to ask someone else to bring some tissues? That's the nurse outside.
Okay. We're still burning. Just a heads up. Body cams are still on.
Okay.
That's okay.
Just yell at me. I'll get out of your way.
What's that one? They said he wants to be evaluated, so. Okay, no problem. Thank you. Do you want, just for a napkin? Were you there at the time?
Yes.
You were there at the time. So is there any part that I can help, I can explain what happened when she arrived here, but you were there and it sounds like there was a lot of blood loss?
Yes.
And so I think that she died of blood loss. Her airway was actually okay. I'll call the medical examiner, of course, and we'll do an autopsy and make sure we know for certain. But
I was trying to apply pressure.
yeah, I mean those were enormous wounds, and it's not.
There were so many.
Yes, and the neck is not compressible, so it's not possible really to stop all the blood loss. And her airway, it seems like, was in the midline okay. She was able to be intubated. Everything that was possible to be done was done for her right away. You did a wonderful, you did everything that was possible. It's not a survivable injury. Is someone with her daughter? Is her daughter?
Yeah, we still have officers at the scene with her.
Okay. Just want to make sure that she's safe.
Yeah, she's safe. Yes, ma'am.
She's only 4.
Yes, sir.
It's for him. Are you certain? Did the person come after you at all? Did they hit you or?
I think he put his arm on me at one point, but I don't think I'm hurt.
Yeah, sure. You have tissues here. You want to wash your hands? Probably feel better after that. Soap right here.
Officer, is this the situation that the Commonwealth asked you about when you were originally on the stand?
About him washing his hands?
Washing the hands?
Correct.
Yes. And you weren't advised by anybody in your chain of command to not allow washing hands or anything like that?
At that point in time, no, sir.
I'm sorry?
At that point in time, no, sir.
Okay.
I'm the first person in here today. I'm so sorry for your loss.
My wife is interested.
You wanted this to be checked out medically, right?
Sure.
And I have a bracelet with your name on it. Brendan Banfield.
Yes.
I'm just gonna put this on here. Would you like me to call our chaplain? Would that be possible?
Yes, please.
It doesn't sound like there's any, the person struck him once, but, no injuries that we need to do imaging or anything like that for.
Verify that his right leg is okay. He's been having some, said it's been feeling weird.
Okay. Since this morning or before?
No, since this morning. I think I'm just.
Would you be able to sit down for just a second? I'm just gonna check your vital signs, make sure everything's
Can I have a
okay.
tissue?
Yeah. So. Would you like me to get you scrubs to change into?
Yes.
Hey there. You got it? Okay.
So I'm just gonna, you're gonna feel a squeeze on your left arm. I'm just getting your blood pressure real quick, okay? I'm gonna check your oxygen level over here. So what's been going on with your right leg since this happened? You feel like it's hard?
I don't, it's like I'm having spasms right here.
I see, okay. And where did the person hit you?
And I only remember my arm.
Okay. Okay, once you change into the scrubs, I'll just look you over there. But I see that you're walking and bearing weight. It's, if anything, it's a bruise, or like he said, you have a muscle spasm because of the stress. I'm gonna borrow your fingers. Kind of a little bit. I'm gonna let you get changed and get settled, all right?
I was talking to him. I didn't want the ambulance until
You wanna get them, you can get them around.
Is that Daniel?
Yeah.
Okay, you already switched out the linen and stuff on the cot, is that okay, or?
I guess, so. Okay. So.
How much do you weigh, Anybody in pain, anybody hurting?
Officer, is that Officer Baumler that was with you?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Your daughter and the pair have been taken to headquarters, so they're both accounted for. They're okay, sir. Yep.
I'm gonna have to step out. I have to go get bags, phone, and all that.
It's all right there.
When he changes.
Yep.
So, I'm gonna see if I have any paper bags.
All right.
Can I call my mom? At this point, we can't let you do that, because we still have to investigate exactly what happened. Once the detective shows up and kind of talks to you, that's when we can let things, they'll kind of explain a little bit more in depth. We're not gonna ask you any questions about what happened, but what we do have to do is, take photos of you, in the clothes that you have on, so before you change in the hospital gown, and then we are gonna have to take your clothes as well. I understand. For that evidence, so, we're gonna do it, and there's no easy way to do it, but kind of the easiest way possible, so, I'm just gonna have to go get my county phone so we can get everything documented, and then basically it should be sending the detective out to kind of come and ask you what exactly happened, because we're not gonna have you go on numerous times, and let them do it all, okay? I understand. Okay. I'm gonna go see if I can find some.
I know. I got you.
My wife's parents are on their way to my house some point today.
Like Officer Baumler told you, man, as soon as we're able to, we'll let you make phone calls.
Yeah, I don't know what time they're coming.
Okay.
I know they are coming, but I don't know what time.
Okay. I understand.
Hi, sir. Got some scraps for you to change it.
You said someone needs to take pictures?
Yes, sir.
Before they change? Right?
Correct.
Okay.
He's gonna go grab his county phone. Mine's all back in my cruiser.
I figured, I didn't know if you guys need a brown bag.
I think he's getting one, but if you have one, that would be helpful. Just bear with us for just a second.
Just blowing my nose.
Yes, sir. No, I understand. The ER staff has brown bags if you can't find one.
Yeah, just have them get a couple because we have to individually bag it.
Direct.
Is Valerie at least with Juliana?
I believe so, yes, sir. I don't see why they would have them separated at this time. Hey, boss. Can you see if they can bring me a couple brown bags, the paper bags?
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
On that, do you want coffee, tea?
I'll have some water.
I'm gonna see if Cranston's gonna be coming this way soon, so we don't do it on the phone, but if not, accent caption is gonna be the way to go.
Appreciate it, bro.
You can eat more.
Gotcha.
Yeah, cool.
I gotcha.
See what happens. Okay. So we have crime scene detectives coming out, and they'll be the ones to take all the photos and all that instead of us doing it on our phones. So that way, they're on the way now, so they should be coming in the next couple minutes.
I understand.
Okay. Do you need like a bottle of water or something?
I think someone is here.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
Connor's just grabbing it for him. You have any other questions for us I might be able to answer right now, man?
Do we know who the person is?
I don't think he's been identified yet.
I can honestly say that we would not know that information. And at this point, even if we did, we probably couldn't get that information to you.
That's fine.
That'd be the detectives that would let you know that.
Start with the other unit. This is going to be an EDP call.
Yeah.
10-4, 331 Bravo, can you start?
My name is Betty.
Okay.
I'm a patient advocate, also chaplain, guest services. Yeah, is there anything I can do for you right now?
say a prayer for her? Can we say a prayer for my wife?
Say a prayer for your wife. Absolutely. And what is it?
Christine.
Christine?
Yes. We have Cramps and detectives who take photos. Well, they'll be here in a few minutes.
She's got some.
Thank you.
Do you have a specific faith community?
Episcopal.
Gracious and loving God, I come before you today in great distress. And Lord, we ask that you be with Christine and with her husband here. We ask that you surround her with your love, that she might feel that and know that you are with her. And Lord, we ask that you heal as only you can. We don't always understand your healing ways, but just ask that you be with her. And be with her husband now in such distress. Watch over him. Surround him with your love. Let him feel the warmth of that love. To carry him through not only today, but days and weeks to come. Lord, we're a family of friends who can support him this time. Please let them open their hearts and arms and provide that loving support that is so much needed. And this we ask in your name. Amen. We say the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Give me my card. And I'm here all day. And I'll be glad to come down whenever you need me. And just ask me. Do you have tissues?
There should be a few boxes of them around here for him now.
I'll be glad to come down anytime. You have a lot to process. Need some time alone that you want me to spend.
It's okay.
Will you call me?
Appreciate it.
As I say, I'm here all day.
Thank you, Matt.
Mr. Banfield? Yes. Hi, my name is Mike Hanganiel. I'm one of the detectives. My colleague, Detective Bryant back there. And this is Detective Hampton. I'm so sorry to meet you under these circumstances.
And sir, is that the entirety of your body-worn camera from that day?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and so did you manually shut it off when the detectives came in?
Correct.
Okay, and then uploaded it into the system?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. I don't have any further questions.
Can you describe the process by which you examine firearms and ammunition components in a laboratory setting?
I routinely examine firearms and ammunition components like bullets and cartridge cases in the laboratory. Regarding firearms, I conduct a visual and physical examination to determine if they are in working order. I check the safety features of the firearm and test fire the firearm at the lab. Regarding ammunition components, I evaluate these microscopically to determine if they have suitable markings on them for comparison to other ammunition components in the case or to test fires that I produce from a firearm.
And were you asked to analyze firearms, magazines, ammunition components, and a t-shirt for this particular case?
Yes, I was.
At this point in time, I am going to ask to admit what I believe is going to be Commonwealth's probably 235. And it is, I've got it in a box over here.
All right, any objection to 235? I think it's the fire, I think it's a firearm. Okay, no objection to 235?
235.
235.
And do you recognize this item?
May I look at the container?
Yes.
Yes, I recognize Commonwealth's Exhibit item 235 by the laboratory number and 231753 and the initials on the container. My initials on the container.
And what is the item?
This item is a firearm. It's a Glock Model 19M 9mm Luger pistol.
And when you began your examination of this firearm, were there any attachments on it?
Yes.
And what was the attachment?
There is a flashlight that's attached to the firearm.
Was it necessary to remove that flashlight?
Yes, for my examination.
And what did you do to determine whether this firearm was in working order?
I performed a visual and physical examination on the firearm. I checked the safety features of the firearm, and I also test fired it.
And what was the result of your examination?
This firearm, the Glock Model 19M, was found to be in mechanical operating condition with the safety features functioning properly.
And are you familiar with the item number 1 on your certificate of analysis lab sheet?
Yes, I am.
And what is that item?
Item 1 on the certificate of analysis for laboratory number N23-1753 is a 9mm Luger cartridge case.
And tell us how you went about analyzing item 1.
I microscopically examined the item 1 cartridge case and compared it to test fires that I produced from Commonwealth's Exhibit 235.
And what was the result of the examination?
The item 1 cartridge case was identified as having been fired in Commonwealth's Exhibit 235 the Glock Model 19M pistol.
And are you familiar with item 80 on your certificate of analysis lab sheet?
Yes.
And what is item 80, and how many parts did it have?
Item 80 on the certificate of analysis for N23-1753 contains 3 bullet fragments and 2 lead fragments from Autopsy.
And whose autopsy are they from?
The Autopsy of Joseph Ryan.
And tell us how you went about analyzing these bullet fragments.
The bullet fragments were designated items 80A, 80B, and 80C. These were microscopically examined, and the item 80A bullet fragment was compared to test fires produced from Commonwealth's exhibit item 235, the Glock Model 19M pistol.
And we can put that item aside, and we're going to move on to a different firearm. And Judge, I'm going to ask to admit this as Commonwealth's 236.
236, any objection to 236? 230, it's the second firearm. All right, 236.
And do you recognize this item?
Yes, I recognize this item by the laboratory number N23-1753 and my initials on the container.
And what is it?
This item is a firearm. It's a Glock Model 43X 9mm Luger pistol.
And what did you do to determine whether this firearm was in working order?
I performed a visual and physical examination on the firearm, checked the safety features, and I also test fired the firearm.
And what was the result of your examination?
This firearm, the Glock Model 43X, was found to be in mechanical operating condition with the safety features functioning properly.
And are you familiar with item 2 on your certificate of analysis lab sheet?
Yes.
And what is item 2?
Item 2 for laboratory number N23-1753 is a 9mm Luger cartridge case.
And can you tell us how you went about analyzing the cartridge case?
I microscopically analyzed the item 2 cartridge case and compared it to test fires that I produced from Commonwealth's exhibit 236, the Glock Model 43X pistol.
And I'm sorry, what was the result of the examination?
The item 2 cartridge case was identified as having been fired in Commonwealth's exhibit 236, the Glock Model 43X.
And are you familiar with item 81 on your certificate of analysis lab sheet?
Yes, I am.
And what is it?
Item 81 on laboratory case number N23-1753 is a bullet from the autopsy of Joseph Ryan.
And tell us how you went about analyzing this bullet.
I microscopically examined the bullet, item 81, and compared it to test fires from Commonwealth's exhibit 236, the Glock Model 43X pistol.
And what was the result of your examination?
The item 81 bullet was identified as having been fired from Commonwealth's exhibit 236, the Glock Model 43X pistol.
Did you memorialize your conclusions in a certificate of analysis?
Yes.
In a moment, I hope to show you that.
Exhibit R? 230. No, nothing has been loaded onto this. If you had it on there, it had to be loaded onto here. Okay, but you don't have it?
Yes, I do.
You have HDMI?
No, I have a dongle.
Right, where is the dongle?
In my, I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am.
Lift up. There you go.
Okay. If I could have you take a look at the document that's displayed on your screen. Can you see it?
Yes,
Okay.
I can.
Okay. I'm going to scroll through it. This has been stipulated to its admissibility. Is this your lab sheet?
Yes, it is.
And can you note the date for us?
This is the certificate of analysis that I produced on this case. The certificate of analysis is dated April 11th, 2023.
And does this lab sheet reflect the results that we've just discussed?
Yes, it does.
Thank you. Judge, if we could terminate this view, I would ask to admit this as Commonwealth 234.
Any objection to 234? You need your microphone, Mr. Carroll, I can't.
I don't have an objection, Judge, but I'd like to leave this up for cross-examination.
Oh, I don't, are you done now? Or?
I have one more section.
Okay, that's
yes.
fine, yes, but I'm sure they can leave it up for you.
Yes.
Okay. So it is an evidence as 234, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Were you asked to do an additional analysis in this case at a later date?
Yes, I was.
What type of analysis were you asked to do?
I was asked to perform a muzzle to target distance determination examination.
And which items did you use, which exhibits and items did you use to do that?
For that examination, I used item 83, which is a t-shirt. I also used item, it's my item 5, the Glock Model 43X pistol, and cartridges in the case.
And is that the Glock 43X pistol that we just examined here?
Yes.
What is a muzzle to target distance determination?
A muzzle to target distance determination is an examination that's conducted in an attempt to determine the approximate distance the muzzle of the firearm was from the target at the time of firing.
And how is it possible to determine how far away a firearm was at the time it was fired?
When a firearm is fired, not only does the bullet exit the firearm, but also gunshot residues. These residues leave the firearm in the shape of a cone. And they are comprised of burned, unburned, partially burned gunpowder particles, as well as vaporous lead or smoke, lead particulate, and really anything else that's in the barrel at the time of firing. And these residues can be deposited in a predictable and reproducible pattern at certain distances. So in the laboratory, I can examine items of clothing, examine them for gunshot residues, and then compare them to known targets that I've created in the laboratory.
And how do you conduct this examination in the laboratory?
Regarding the evidence item of clothing, I visually, microscopically, and chemically process that for the presence of gunshot residues. I also create test targets at known distances and compare those test targets to the results of the evidence clothing.
And were you able to draw any conclusions about the distance between the muzzle of the .43X and the hole in the t-shirt?
Yes.
And what was that conclusion?
The t-shirt, item 83 on my lab report, had a hole in the front left middle area. And this area was visually, microscopically, and chemically processed for gunshot residues, and no pattern of residues was found. Therefore, this is indicative of the muzzle of the Glock 43X having been greater than approximately 21 inches from the hole in the shirt at the time of firing, barring the presence of an intervening object.
And did you memorialize your conclusions in a certificate of analysis?
Yes, I did.
Detective, can you see the document that you had created? Digital forensic summary? And when you obtained the data in doing your forensic analysis, describe for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what you do.
Make sure the green button's on there.
Okay, I think it's on now. In obtaining data from a device, the first thing we do is stabilize it, and that method depends on whether it's a mobile device or a computer, whether the device is on or off. So an example of a computer, what I would do is the device, if it's already coming to me in a powered off state, I would remove the hard drive, connect it to a forensic machine with a write blocker. A write blocker is a device that prevents writing to that evidence device. Therefore, no bits are changed, so no zeros, no ones, nothing gets altered. And then I take what's called a forensic image of that and create an evidence file from that, which is then loaded into another forensic tool that will parse that data and create it into a readable format for me as the examiner or anybody else to read down the road.
And would you draw your conclusions that are the conclusions that are on this digital forensics executive summary after doing that through different artifacts?
Yes, I would draw any conclusions off of data that had been obtained from a device.
Okay, and what you just described to the jury is what went into this document, the digital forensic executive summary.
Everything that was used to compile that came from data that had been extracted from the digital devices.
Okay, and specifically relating, and I'm referencing this document, January 9th, that was an important day in terms of who was using devices.
Objection,
correct?
counsel's testifying.
What's the significance
I'll
of
state the objection. Go ahead.
Yes, what's the significance of January 9th, 2023 in this investigation?
That was a date that a Gmail account was created.
Okay, and in your investigation, were you able to determine who created that account?
Who in particular? No.
Yes. Were you able to investigate using your tools to determine artifacts such as who such as other lifestyle type matters as to who was home, who could have been there, things like that?
Judge, objection is to form.
If you want to state that question again.
What are the things that, so when you're honing in on who was using a device, what things do you look at?
I would look at a variety of things. Pattern of life would be a term that would be used, but you would explore all that the data has to offer and see if there's enough artifacts there to support or provide enough information as to who may have been using that device. But barring external corroboration, it's impossible to put somebody behind a screen.
Now, in terms of, reaching conclusions in digital forensics, you have to make determinations based on a number of factors, correct?
Yes.
Okay. What, if anything, did you do to arrive at the conclusion that
Objection, leading.
on January 9th?
Sir, sustained as to leading.
What, if anything, did you take into consideration in arriving at your conclusion on January 9th, 2023?
For that particular date,
Yes.
I took into account all the information I had at that time as to what was the more likely scenario based on what I had at the time.
Okay. And what was your determination based upon this particular executive summary?
That based on what I had at the time, it indicated that the device owner was using the device.
Okay. Now, you've put in this summary January 17th. Is that a significant date?
Yes.
Okay. What's the significance of that date?
That was another date that an account was created.
And was that the FetLife account?
Yes.
Okay. And what's the relationship, if any, between the Gmail account that was created on January 9th and the FetLife account that was created on January 17th?
The Gmail account that had been created on January 9th was the email account that was used in the creation of the FetLife account.
Okay. And were you able to determine through your expertise who had control of the device, Christine's devices on that day?
I was able to determine that it was her phone involved in creating that device. I was able to determine that it was her phone used in the creation of that account based on a variety of returns.
And did you make any conclusions at that time that she had not given up her devices?
I had nothing indicating loss of dominion and control at that time.
Okay, and that's what your finding was as per that particular day, correct?
Yes.
Has that changed?
Yes.
When did that change?
A co-defendant admitted to using the devices.
Okay. Has it digitally, in terms of digital forensic artifacts, has that changed?
No, the zeros and ones did not change.
Okay, so, and zeros and ones, that's binary, right?
Yes.
So your conclusions based on zeros and ones are still the same?
Yes.
The only additional factor is the co-defendant adopted a different story.
I was provided additional information that had to be taken into account, yes.
Okay, meaning she told the story that she told the other day here?
Yes.
Okay. Were there any other conclusive digital artifacts that were different in the creation of this report other than the co-defendant testifying differently?
I'm sorry, can you ask the question again?
It wasn't a very artfully worded question. Were there any, so we were just talking about digital analysis, the ones and zeros, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing that you oftentimes work with, correct?
Yes.
And what your testimony was is that the co-defendant's testimony was the thing that changed relating to the January 17th that we were just talking about.
Yes, context is important.
Okay, and was there something other than her accepting other than her telling the story that she told that day, was there anything about the traditional digital forensics that you had analyzed that had changed?
Not that I recall.
Okay. And that was January 17th, correct? Or was it the entire report?
I was speaking to it as an aggregate.
Okay. And did you have an opportunity to be part of the questioning of Juliana Peres Magalhães?
No, I was not part of that.
Okay. Were there items within that interview that was in conflict of your findings in digital forensics?
Objection, foundation.
Are you only a foundation?
Okay. You heard the testimony, correct?
Yes.
And I'm speaking of the first time she told the story on October 25th, 2024. You heard those interviews, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And so my question is, did you see conflict? What, if any, conflict did you see with your digital forensics findings and her statements on that day?
Nothing is immediately coming to mind.
Okay. Would you have seen her video where she's talking about, where Eric Klingen is asking if anybody was on FetLife on a certain day?
Yes, I've seen that.
And your knowledge of digital forensics, you knew why he was asking that.
Objection, leading.
All right, I'll sustain as to leading.
Did you, in fact, did you have any idea why he asked that question?
I can't speak to why people choose to ask the questions they do in an interview.
In terms of your digital forensics findings, though, did it make sense why he asked that question?
I think it would be relevant information.
Okay. And she didn't answer it correctly, correct?
Objection, leading.
Sustain as to leading.
What, if anything, did she strike that question?
Okay.
After you heard that she had recanted and told this story, did you see an opportunity to be involved in the questioning of her?
I think I know what you mean by that. I would have liked to have been involved, but I was not involved in questioning her at all.
Okay. Looking back on the interview, if you had been involved, could you have assisted them?
I believe so.
Okay, and who were the people that were in the interview room?
Objection, foundation.
Well, if you want to have a foundation, if he knows.
There were, when she was interviewed, there were a number of detectives in there, correct?
I believe so.
Do you know any of the detectives that were in there?
Yes.
Okay, and did you have an opportunity to talk to them about your ability to assist them in her story?
Prior to that?
Yes.
No, I did not have an
Were
opportunity.
you aware that she was doing that prior to her
No,
story?
I was not aware until after it had already taken place.
Okay, so they didn't and were you the digital expert for this case at that time?
Yes.
Okay, so what, if anything, did they do to get information from you to make it a more accurate questioning of Juliana Peres Magalhães?
I wasn't able to provide them anything because I didn't know what was happening.
Okay. And no one told you that?
Correct.
Okay. The digital forensics, no, so you were transferred, correct?
Yes,
When did that occur?
roughly a year ago.
Okay, okay, and what you're doing now is a different form of digital forensics?
Objection asked and answered.
Overruled, allowed since.
I'm using the same skill sets, yes.
Okay, but you don't get involved in cases like this anymore in digital forensics?
No.
Okay. When you were still within digital forensics, were you ever asked to change your executive summary that we've looked at?
To change it,
Yes.
I was asked to review it in light of the proffer.
Okay. Were you ever asked to go line by line and fix the conclusions?
Objection leading.
What, if anything, were you ever asked regarding your digital forensics executive summary?
To review it in light of the proffer and ensure I could explain what I had put in that executive summary.
And did you do that?
I reviewed it.
Okay. Was there a change in this document based upon that review?
Like I said, the zeros and ones did not change.
Okay. Is that why you were transferred?
I can't speak to the exact motives behind a transfer.
So, okay. So you were never told why you were transferred?
There was a discussion about the transfer, yes.
Was it related to your executive summary?
It was related to my work in the Banfield case.
Okay, and your work in the Banfield case, is it fair to say that it was,
Objection leading.
was there any other work in the Banfield case other than digital forensics for you?
For me, no.
Okay. So let's go through that document if we can. Can you still see it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Looking at the January 18th to until February 23rd discussions in your report. Do you stand by those same conclusions in those bullet points?
As far as the activity of the devices, yes.
Okay, and the ones and the zeros?
Yes.
And so the only thing that changes that section, and I can keep scrolling if you need to see it, is the fact that...
Judge, I'm sorry, can counsel explain where specifically in the document he's referencing?
The section of January 18th until February 23rd, 2023. Should be on the screen. I scrolled up to it.
Judge, I see a section titled 1219 to 224.
At the very top of the screen, he has the dates.
I see. Thank you.
Okay.
I was just trying to include that whole
That's
section.
fine. I think she was just looking on her laptop, too.
Okay. Is there anything of the ones and zeros, the binary language, that's changed in that portion of this summary?
No, the data extractions remain the same.
Okay. So the only change is that the co-defendant gave a different story.
Additional evidence came to light, yes.
Is that the additional evidence?
Yes.
Okay. Do you see the section that says February 18th, 2023?
Yes.
It says starting at 22:44 hours, Christine utilized her
Judge, I'm going to
CB.
object to reading from the document. He can question the witness.
All right, I'll sustain the objection.
Okay, do you, that statement that I was just starting to read, is that still the same?
As far as what the device was doing or the account was doing, yes.
Okay. And the only change that would change that would be that Juliana Peres Magalhães changed her story.
Yes.
Okay. Let's look at February 19th, 2023. Have you read those 3 bullet points?
Yes.
Okay. And same question. Is there anything that has changed regarding the ones and zeros, as we talked about, in that section?
No, the data remains the same.
Data remains the same. And have you ever heard the term digital forensics don't lie, people lie?
I've heard it.
Have you ever heard it?
Yes.
Okay. Now, talking about February 19th, the only thing that's changed is Juliana Peres Magalhães has changed her story, correct?
Yes, the data remains the same.
Data remains the same. (219) to 2023, February 19th, until February 24th, 2023. This references telegram communications. Do those items remain the same?
Yes, the data did not change.
Okay, so I don't want to put words in your mouth, but pretty much everything is the data hasn't changed, correct?
Correct. Context did.
Context, and the context is in the form of recantation of Juliana Peres Magalhães.
Yes.
Okay. And your conclusion? Same thing?
Yes, sir, the data still hasn't changed.
Okay, and that hasn't changed except for the recant of Juliana Peres Magalhães.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
So you were asked by the person that transferred you to go line by line and change your...
Objection calls for hearsay.
I'll sustain the objection if you want to rephrase.
Who were you asked to change your executive summary by?
Again, I don't believe I was asked to change it. I was asked to review it in light of the proffer.
Okay, and so when you reviewed it in light of for the proffer, was there ever another executive summary created after that?
No, I did not create another document.
Okay, so you just reviewed it as you were asked to do?
Correct.
but there's no actual executive summary like you did in this situation.
Correct, I did not create another document.
Other than listening to the interviews that Juliana Peres Magalhães gave, did you ever deal with her directly?
No, I had, only when I got her phone from her when she was arrested.
Okay. So is it fair to say that you were never in a position to challenge any of the things she said?
I conducted no interviews with her, that's correct.
Were you able to observe whether she was ever challenged on any of the things she said?
Only with the interviews that have been recorded.
Okay. And do you believe that she was challenged on what she was said?
Objection, I'm not sure that that is relevant. His belief.
I'll overrule as to relevance.
I'm sorry, could you ask the question again?
Do you believe she was challenged in those interviews?
I think that's a relative term. I can't speak to what the person asking the questions was thinking at the time.
Let me see if I can get us to a point where we're understanding each other. As an investigator, if you think that something may not be right, whether it's based on digital forensics or anything, you challenge them, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And that's what you would do if you were in a situation where you were interviewing based upon your work, correct?
My questions would have likely been different, but I can't speak to why somebody would ask what they would ask in an interview they're conducting.
So if somebody says something, generally, if somebody says something that's wrong, you don't challenge them?
I think I would.
Okay. In watching those interviews, were they ever challenged? Was she ever challenged?
Judge, objection calls for speculation. Again, he's testified already that he doesn't know what was in their minds when they're asking questions.
Speculation.
Well, I'm asking him about his review of the videos. It's not, it's essentially, it's his.
I'll overrule the objection, go ahead. If you can answer.
Yeah, re-ask the question, sir, please.
Watching the interviews of her recant, you weren't there, correct?
Yes, I was not there.
Did you think that she was challenged when she gave the story that she gave?
It appeared to be more of a free-form interview. I did not see direct confrontation on things in that interview.
Okay. And when you say free form, you mean she was just able to tell what she wanted to?
Well, they were going through the details.
Okay, so she was asked about a detail, and then she was able to give a story?
Yeah, pretty much it was a question and answer format.
Okay. And I guess my question is, I use the term challenge. Were there people questioning what she was saying?
In light of?
Any of the topics?
I don't remember anything specifically.
Okay. What were your conclusions in your executive summary that you wrote before her recant?
that based on the digital evidence I had at the time and the facts known at the time, it indicated that the device owner was responsible for the activity on the device.
And that device owner,
Christine Banfield.
I have no further questions,
All
Your Honor.
right, cross-examination.
Thank you.
Can we just put this down, or do you need it? You may take it away.
Or just put it down. It's fine. Good afternoon, Detective Miller.
Afternoon.
All right, so you stated barring external corroboration, it's impossible to put someone behind a screen. Isn't that correct?
There needs to be corroboration of some sort, yes.
All right, and in this case, when you dug into Christine's phone, Christine's laptop, the information that you received from the external sources, Google, Apple, were you able to put someone concretely behind the screen?
At times, yes.
But throughout the context of all of the conversations that you saw occurring, the activity that you saw occurring on Christine's phone, could you conclusively opine as to who was behind the screen?
No.
Okay. And when you wrote this report that Mr. Carroll has referenced, you used the phrasing, Christine did this, Christine did that. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And after additional information and further investigation, you would have changed that to Christine's phone or Christine's laptop. Is that correct?
Correct.
Because again, you can't put someone behind the screen in this case, can you?
Not for everything, correct.
Okay. The evidence itself did not change, correct?
Correct, the data did not change.
You did not change the evidence, correct?
No, I did not change the evidence.
You reviewed how many terabytes of data in this case?
A lot.
A lot, okay. And in all of that, there was no ability to reach a conclusion that one person was always operating on FetLife, was always operating on Christine's phone when interacting with the Google account that was created to manipulate the FetLife account. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. There are no artifacts contrary to Juliana Peres Magalhães' statements regarding the creation of the account, are there?
Not that are coming to mind, no.
And the only changes that you would have made here is, again, to clarify that there are points at which you cannot tell who is operating the device.
Yes, I would have clarified. It's very difficult to speak about devices constantly saying this person's device, that person's device. I did it with Joseph Ryan's devices, Brendan Banfield's devices, Juliana's devices all throughout. I just called it the person who owned the device using.
All right, so in this case, I got louder. The digital forensics may not lie, but they didn't provide us with any conclusive evidence of who was operating Christine's phone when the Google account used in conjunction with the FetLife account was created.
Correct.
Okay. You were also asked about your review of Juliana Peres Magalhães' original proffer that occurred on October 25th. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Were you aware that there was another interview with Juliana that occurred in February?
Yes.
Okay. And did you receive information from watching the October proffer about what was going on in the room between the detectives and the attorneys that were present? Did anyone show you the notes that were passed? Have you had the opportunity to talk to those individuals about what they might have whispered about when they stepped out of the room?
I did not discuss that with anybody.
Okay, so you have no idea what, if anything, went into the questions that she was asked and whether or not there was effort made to confirm that her story had additional corroboration, do you?
Correct.
Okay. Judge, I don't believe I have any other questions.
right.
Thank you so much.